It is time, Tenno. Wake up, Tenno.
Welcome home, Tenno. My name is Talgahurst, and this is Warframe. Hello, Tenno. Talgahurst here to talk to you about Update 19's Specters of the Rail. What we see here, in particular with this update, is the brand new star chart and all of the changes that come with that. Specters of the Rail is the core to what Update 19 is. We've already seen Lunaro. I'm working on a video for that currently. But this is the one that really deserves our attention, more so than the other update. This update is the core to what U19 is, to what really the future of Warframe is, in a massive way. The biggest change that we can see is the new star chart. Gone is the ring around you that is the planets and nodes that you can go to. Gone are the different nodes around the individual planet once you select that far. Instead, what we see is a map, and in particular a very clear road map. We have each of the nodes connected by a white line, or in some cases a dashed line. Earth is the planet that you start on, so you're going to clear this one fairly quickly. And as you can see, we have the different nodes and the roads going between them. Hovering over a node gives you the same information that it used to in the old star chart. But what this does more importantly is gives you, or in particular, new players, a clear direction and where to go. To make that more clear, let's go to Eris and see what I have here. I haven't completed this planet yet, and we know this because I've got a blue node right here. It means I still need to complete it. I haven't played it once. And then these dash marks leading to blacked out nodes with a lock next to the name, which means I haven't unlocked those yet. I don't know what those missions are going to be. Update 19's new star chart, Star Chart 3.0, gives us this clear roadmap in how to progress through the game. Another addition that helps that clear progression is the addition of these junctions. Earth, where you start, has two junctions, one to Mars, one to Venus. There's also a way to get to Lua, or to the Moon, but there's no junction blocking it. In fact, most new players won't see that yet. These junctions give you a list of tasks that you have to complete before you can unlock the new planet. So for new players, this gives you a checklist of things to do. Instead of the old way, which was you would complete Vor's prize and then just be thrown at the game to build, to mod, to unlock nodes, just seemingly at random, now it gives you a checklist. Things to do. It gives you direction and where to go and how to progress. And in many cases, intuitively teaches you the core gameplay loop and mechanics to the game. In particular, to unlock the Venus planet and the nodes associated with it, you have to collect 10 mods or fusion cores. You simply play the game, find the drops and collect the drops. Apply 4 mods to a single Warframe or weapon. It's requiring you to go in and look at and experience these different core elements to the gameplay mechanics in such a way that doesn't require you to scour through the wiki for hours before you even play the game. Doesn't force you to find the tutorial pages that are kind of hidden away within the game's codex. Instead, it gives you the checklist right here. You can see exactly what it is that you need to do next in order to progress through the game. And to me, this is what really represents the core of what Specters of the Rail is. It's for new players. It's a way for players to come into the game fresh without having to have a friend have played it beforehand, without having to do a ton of research before even playing the game. Now they can just pick it up, get into the game in a much more intuitive way, instead of having to essentially sit through a class taught by other players. These junctions, not only do they give you this checklist, but they provide a sort of test for you. Once you complete the checklist, you can then go to the junction like a regular mission node. I've already completed mine, and unfortunately didn't record those, not knowing that you can only play them once. Inside a junction is a one-on-one fight. You versus a Spectre. Beat the Spectre, and you then open up that junction. You essentially open the gate to a new planet. After which you can progress, see the roadmap for the new nodes, and see what your new checklist is. See if there's another junction. More things for you to do, and get a sense of how to progress and complete your star chart. Or complete your collection, or really grasp what it is that Warframe is about. And many times the rewards for these are new quests, more bits of the story, new lore. Many of the requirements for junctions are to complete these quests. Learn about the game world, learn about the universe, learn about your player, or your Tenno, rather, as a player. Learn about what it is you do, who it is you are in this game, in this universe. For veterans, you need not worry about redoing all of the junctions. It's not required for new players, or for veteran players, I should say, to complete these junctions. New players, it's completely required. But for veterans, every node that you've already unlocked, you can still play again. Every planet you've unlocked, you can still get to without doing the junctions. But for veterans, those junctions are helpful. Especially if you don't have a full weapon collection. In this case, I can complete the Eris junction, and it will give me the Patient Zero quest blueprint and the Meyer blueprint, a weapon blueprint. These are things that I can use and play with and have fun with. These are things that I could still earn, that I may not have had before. I'm still being rewarded for something, or getting a reward of some description. Sure, many of us, the quest's already done. Many of us, the weapons that we're going to be getting from these rewards, these blueprints, not really helpful for us. Going to be mastery fodder. But it's something. This update, in particular with the star chart, is less about the veterans. It's less for the veterans. It is that new player experience that the devs have been talking about on the dev streams for a long time now, since Vor's Prize. This has been something that they've been focusing on for months and have been wanting to fix. Because for many new players before this update, they had to have a friend help them out. They had to have someone, another player, kind of hold their hand in a way to understand the game. Now they can just jump in with a more intuitive star chart, a more intuitive, I don't want to say tutorial, but more pick up and play gameplay. For us veterans, this new star chart does bring a host of changes. And for many people, this might not be ideal. For others, this is fantastic. In particular, the biggest change for veteran players are the changes to the Void. The Void no longer requires keys to access. All it is a connection to another moon or planet with 4 branching paths, depending on where you're coming from. So say if I'm coming from Phobos to the Void, I'm going to get level 10 to 15 enemies in these Void missions. This is the old T1 or Tier 1 Void content that we're used to. Say if I'm coming from Neptune, I'm going to be getting my 30 to 35. Those are all my T3 missions. Now it's still divided up in these tiers that we're used to, that we think of when it comes to the Void. But the biggest difference with these missions is that they no longer drop prime parts. Your only real reason to do these are the treasure rooms, testing yourself, and argon crystals. Instead of dropping Void parts by now having this open access, there are now what we call Void fissures popping up throughout the entire star chart. Something's happened in the universe, in the Warframe universe, in this lore, that has cracked open the Void. We can now access it freely. Something's broken, and now these fissures are starting to pop up. These tears in the fabric of reality are appearing. So now, in order to get prime parts, in order to farm ducats or trade prime parts for platinum with other players, we go to one of these fissures and then take in a relic. All of your keys that you used to have, well, now they're relics. In more ways than one, they're relics. The Lith era here were all my old Tier 1 keys. All the keys that we used to do to access the Void are here. And with them, all of the drops that we're used to. Each relic shows you the possible rewards that you can get, with an example of what the odds are of unlocking them. So say with this Lith M1 relic, I've got a 90% chance to roll either a Forma, Boar Prime Receiver, or Lex Prime Receiver, and maybe a 5% chance to get the Mag Prime Blueprint. I take that into a mission, I help seal the rift, and the relic determines what it is. I roll on that table and can select my reward from the end mission drops. Now, you're probably asking me, what do you mean end mission drops? What do you mean select your reward from the table? Let's take this F1 relic in. Because I've got 11 of them, I can spend it. I can either get a Fang Prime Blade, Paris Prime Blueprint, all the way down to the vaulted Fragor Prime Blueprint. Let's equip it for the mission, and I'll show you what I mean. So these Void missions, these fissure missions, play just like the mission that they pop up on the mission node that they pop up on. So in this case, I'm playing a capture mission on Venus. The node that the fissure is on is always a capture mission. That doesn't change. That hasn't changed. What has changed is that in this capture mission, there's a fissure somewhere. A tear in the fabric of reality that the Void is leaking out of. So we've captured our target. Now we just have to find that fissure. And there it is. That is a Void fissure. So when you're ready, you go up to it, press your use key, and spend your relic to open it up a little further, let out that Void energy, let out the corrupted enemies, and then ultimately close it back up again. It's going to spawn every type of void enemy that you're used to fighting in the void. You've got your corrupted Moas, ancients, bombards, you name it. In which case you'll kill, pick up these void reactants, and jump screw you, Moa. Jump through the void fissure. Do this 10 times to seal it up, and your relic will then open, rolling once on the drop table. There we go. An unidentified item. So we have spent our relics, just like we would spend a void key, and can now extract from the mission like we would. Someone already captured our target. We just head to the exit. And there we are. So now I just wait for everyone else. And then I can show you the drop table. So each person brought in a separate relic. And each relic had one roll on the drop table. So my relic had the Skindo Prime blueprint, but their relic had the Saren Prime helmet. Or neuroptics, rather. And I don't have Saren Prime yet. I'll take that. So if you work with your team, you can pick and choose what drop table you want to roll on. If you all take the same relic, you have higher odds of getting the drop that you actually want from that relic. If you go in like I did with a pickup group, I know what relic I'm going to be rolling for, but I don't know what everyone else brought. And the odds are going to change a little bit. But what also changes the odds is actually looking at the void relics in your Lisette. So let's go back to the Lith F1 relic. I got a Skindo Prime blueprint, which has fairly low odds of dropping. But see these void traces? I can spend void traces and shift those odds. Spend 50, that percentage just shot up. So I have higher odds of rolling that for my particular relic. Higher odds that that's going to show up in my square of those 4 options. You can only have 100 void traces at any given time. And you collect them by completing the Void Fissure missions. They're some of the drops that the corrupted enemies have on them. With this system, this new system of getting prime parts, you as a player have better access to the specific thing that you want. Instead of having to grind the same mission over and over and over and over again for something that may only have a 5% drop chance, like this Fragor Prime blueprint, you can play a handful of missions, use keys or relics that you already have, build up those void traces, and then pick a relic that you don't have quite as many of, or that has a specific item that you're looking for, and spend those void traces. Skew those odds to getting that one item that you're particularly looking for. This is a quality of life improvement for those players that don't want to spend hours after hours after hours playing the same mission over and over and over and over again. Now we can play a handful of missions, that change over time that are the same missions that we have on the nodes against varied enemies with other players. I'm not having to go into these solos. I'm not going to have to sit in looking for group and wait for somebody to say, sure, I'll join you on that one very particular mission. Now I can just select a mission and jump in like you would on any other node. In particular for new players, this makes it so much easier to start that void farming. It makes it so much easier for them to see prime parts and see if that's something that they want to do. You don't have to have all of the planets unlocked to run a tier 1 mission. You don't have to have fully decked out gear to tackle the void. Because you're not having to go into it solo. You're not having to wait for other players. You simply go in, and there's going to be other players doing the same thing that you are. Does this mean a new player is going to get all of their prime stuff easier? Not necessarily, because they still have to get all of the other junctions. They still have to do tier 4 stuff. You still have to prep your gear for that. But this allows them to at least start it sooner. It allows them to see what it is that we veterans are working towards or trying to get sooner. Or without having to have a group of friends already show them. And in many cases, I think that says a lot more about what Specters of the Rail is in terms of Warframe updates. This is not the update for veterans. And for many veterans, this has really upset them. But what this is an update for is for Warframe's new players. For all the people that we have said, come join us in Warframe. For all the people who have watched the bigger name YouTubers play this and got interested and tried to find it themselves. Now they can and understand it more. For the new players who don't want to sit through the wiki or the forums to just figure out what it is that they're supposed to do, now they can just do it. And intuitively understand more what the progression is, what your goal is. This is the new player experience that they've been trying to get right since Vor's Prize. And I commend them for it. Aside from the plethora of bugs from this rushed update, in concept, this works. From a new player perspective, this is exactly what was needed. I consider myself a veteran, but I didn't start that long ago. I had friends help guide me through it, figure out what it is that I'm supposed to be doing in the game, what my sense of progression is. Had I not had that, I think I would have been put off the game. But now it's there. Now I can start it and see the roadmap. See, I haven't done this mission yet. I'll go do that one next. Ooh, it unlocks 2 more missions. Or 3 more, what have you. Awesome. It's that carrot dangling in front of me, that sense of progression very clear in front of me. And even more so, I have a checklist. I have a quest list. Sometimes literally a quest that I have to complete with tangible rewards that I can use to kind of get that gear collection that is the core gameplay loop sort of started. I don't have to read the forums. I don't have to hum and haw about what I'm getting. I just start. I just get things. And for the veteran players who are upset that there isn't enough here for for the veterans, that we've lost things. In some ways, yeah, we have. The Void's completely different. The late game economy through trade chat with ducats, with the prime parts, has completely changed. But DE has acknowledged that in the dev streams. They're watching the economy closely. They want to make sure that it still works in a way that is healthy. I mean, with Specters of the Rail, they even included item linking in trade chat. They acknowledge it's there, that it's an important part of what it is that we have to do as a community to stay together. It's an important part of what makes the community the community. But they've made it easier for new players to dip their feet in and understand what it is that the game is, what Warframe is. So for veterans, I say wait. Wait until War Within. Wait until we get more of those cinematic quests, more of those lore tidbits, the story. These are the things that are for veterans. The raids, the story, these new gameplay elements, the new things like Focus or Archwing were originally for veterans. These were the new mechanics, and we're getting some of those again with War Within. That is your veteran content. That is part 3 of the update 19 that we're getting. This is only part 2. This is the new player experience. They're calling it the new Star Chart 3.0. I would rather call it the new player experience. I would rather call it what Warframe really should be in terms of mechanics. Is it the best for it? Yes and no. I don't think there is a best way to do it. But is it a healthier change? Very much so. And I think that is more important. I think that being able to bring in new blood, being able to bring in new players, is ultimately better than just front-loading everything onto veterans. Yes, we made the game what it is. Yes, we're the ones who keep coming back. But that's just it. We keep coming back. And they're still giving us stuff. We've got War Within on the way. They haven't forgotten about us. This new Star Chart just makes that community larger. It means there are going to be more people in trade chat selling parts. It means there's going to be more people in trade chat buying parts. It means new players. It means a larger game. And that's not a bad thing. And this Star Chart works. It makes sense. I can go to any planet and see where to go. See what I haven't done yet. I have a list of things that I can still do. Like, as a veteran, I don't have to do all these junctions. But I can. It gives me a checklist. It gives me a place to start if I'm not sure how I want to progress for the day. And it does so in a way that isn't me having to make a spreadsheet or a checklist on my phone or another window. It's all right here. I don't have to scour the wiki for the drop tables to get prime parts. I simply look at what keys or what relics I have. It's a more intuitive system. And for Warframe, I think that makes it better. This is the update for new players. So for all you new players, for everyone that this update brings in, for those who are returning, welcome to Warframe.